Have you ever wondered if another world is hiding just beyond your fingertips? Tonight, a small window in my old house revealed a secret no one has ever known. What I saw made my heart race. The eyes staring back from that world were not human, and the whispers echoing in my mind forced me to make a choice. Step into a terrifying reality, or retreat to the comfort of the familiar. What would you choose if this window appeared right in front of you? The secret of another world is waiting to be discovered. The night was eerily silent. My old house smelled of aged wood and thick dust. I walked toward the back storage room. The dim light flickered across walls full of cracks. And then I noticed a small window I had never seen before. It looked older than the rest of the house. And it seemed like it did not belong here. A chill ran down my spine. As I stepped closer, I peered through it. I saw a meadow stretching farther than the eye could see. The sky was a deep purple. Strange lights floated above the ground. But its calmness made my heart pound. I reached out to touch the glass. The cold pierced my skin. It felt as if that world was calling me. Then I heard a soft whisper. A voice that seemed to come from inside my own mind. I stepped back, but my eyes remained glued to it. The grass started to move as if alive. The trees swayed like the breathing of a massive creature. I smelled a strange, sweet scent, mixed with a piercing, damp chill. Suddenly, the window began to tremble, as if trying to pull me in. I raised my hand again, feeling a strange force trying to drag me inside. The whisper became louder. It was not words, but a feeling, a mixture of fear and curiosity. It made me unable to move. I sensed something moving behind the window. Something not human. I saw a dark shadow in one corner. Its eyes glowed red like tiny fires. And it stared at me without blinking. The figure remained still, yet every instinct screamed that it was alive. Its red eyes seemed to pierce straight through me, weighing down my thoughts. I could feel my breath quicken, and my heartbeat thundered in my ears. A gust of cold air blew from the window, though the night inside the house was still. I wanted to step back, yet my feet felt rooted to the floor. The shadow moved slightly, almost imperceptibly, yet enough to make me gasp. I leaned closer to the window, unable to resist, drawn by a mix of fear and fascination. The meadow outside began to shimmer, as if the very air was vibrating with life. Then I noticed the sky changing. The purple deepened, and streaks of glowing light began crawling across it. They twisted and coiled like living threads of energy. The whispers grew louder, forming shapes I could not understand. They were not words, not even language, yet they pressed against my mind like a tide. I stumbled backward, almost falling, but I could not tear my gaze away. The dark figure stepped forward, and suddenly I realized it was not a solid being. Its form rippled, as if made of smoke or liquid shadow. The red eyes were the only thing that remained constant, burning brighter. I felt a pull inside me, a magnetic force that seemed to call my very soul. The whisper became a voice, low and melodic, echoing in my head. It was neither kind nor cruel, but it carried an urgency I could not ignore. Come, it seemed to say, not with words but with sensation. Every nerve in my body screamed to run, yet another part of me leaned forward. Curiosity, a dangerous curiosity, battled with instinctive fear. I reached for the window again. This time, my hand passed through the glass as if it were water. Cold, wet, and electric, the sensation shocked me. I pulled my hand back instinctively, but it tingled as if alive. The shadow responded, rippling closer, its eyes unblinking, its presence commanding. Suddenly, the meadow changed. The grass bent unnaturally, forming shapes, letters, symbols that twisted and turned. The lights above the ground began descending toward me. They were not small, they were immense, yet weightless, floating as if the air itself held them. The scent grew stronger, sweet, metallic, and alien. It filled my lungs, making me dizzy yet unable to resist breathing it in. A sudden sound erupted, a deep, resonant hum. It seemed to come from the shadow itself. The floor beneath me vibrated slightly, like the house was acknowledging the other world. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. I could only watch, paralyzed, as the shadow began to extend itself toward the window. I felt pressure behind my eyes, a sensation like my thoughts were being tugged. Memories I had never lived flickered across my mind. I saw cities of light and dark, creatures with forms I could not comprehend, skies that defied physics. It was overwhelming, terrifying, and intoxicating. I realized this window was not a mere opening, it was a bridge. My hand hovered over the glass again. The shadow's eyes flared, and I saw possibilities. A life beyond the mundane, beyond the walls of my house, beyond reality itself. I felt my body lean forward, as though pulled by invisible threads. A voice inside my mind screamed, "Do not enter." But another voice whispered, "You belong here. You have always belonged." I gasped, my chest tightening. The shadow rose higher, stretching toward me, and the meadow's lights condensed into a single point. I could see shapes moving inside that point, entities, unknown and vast. The whispers became a chorus, calling my name in a hauntingly beautiful melody. The house around me felt distant, irrelevant. All that existed was the window, the shadow, and the world beyond. Suddenly, the window trembled violently. The glass, or whatever it was, rippled as if alive. I felt the air pressure change, my hair lifted as if charged with static. The shadow's form expanded, revealing hints of wings, of tendrils, of eyes everywhere. It was magnificent, horrifying, and utterly alien. I took a step back, almost tripping over the floorboards. The shadow hesitated, then paused, its presence heavy and waiting. The chorus of whispers filled my head completely, vibrating through my bones. I understood that this was not just a world, it was a test, a threshold, a choice. Fear surged through me, but so did longing. I wanted to retreat, yet every fiber of my being leaned forward. A single tendril of shadow extended through the window, brushing against my fingertips. Electricity shot through me, a sensation I could not describe, pain and pleasure intertwined. My vision blurred, the room faded, and all that remained was the shadow and the call of the other world. I heard the whispers clearly now. "You will never see the same world again. You can remain, or return." My mind screamed to flee, yet my body moved closer, as if answering a question I had not heard. The shadow's eyes burned brighter, and I could feel its intent, patient, commanding, eternal. The lights in the meadow swirled around, forming a vortex, spinning faster and faster. I realized stepping through the window would change everything, erase the world I knew. And yet, stepping back would mean forgetting, losing something I did not fully understand I possessed. The red eyes blinked slowly, a final invitation or perhaps a warning. Time seemed to stretch, seconds became hours, hours became moments of eternity. The house behind me faded to gray shadows, leaving only the window alive, throbbing, and waiting. My hand hovered again, trembling. The air was thick, charged, and alive. I could feel the pull into the other world stronger than gravity, deeper than instinct, older than my own life. The shadow's form loomed, magnificent and terrifying. And I realized there was no turning back if I moved forward. I took a slow step closer, my breath ragged. The vortex of lights outside swirled violently, reflecting in the shadow's eyes. A strange warmth spread through my chest, mingled with fear and exhilaration. I knew this moment would define everything, everything I had ever known and everything I would become. The shadow whispered again, directly into my mind this time. "Choose." I reached forward, my hand touched the vortex of light, and a shock ran through me, a sensation that was neither pain nor pleasure but something in between. The shadow's red eyes glowed brighter, filling my vision with a heatless fire. I felt myself being pulled, slowly, irresistibly, toward the other world. The house, the floorboards, the dim room, they all began to dissolve into shadows, fading like memories at dawn. And yet, a part of me hesitated. A quiet thought surfaced. A tether to my life, my reality, my world. I paused, suspended between the familiar and the impossible. The shadow leaned closer, its presence immense yet strangely calm. The whispers softened, almost gentle now, like a lullaby sung by the universe itself. "You may go," it seemed to say. "Or you may return. But know this, the world you leave behind will never be the same." I closed my eyes, taking a deep, steadying breath. Images of home, of faces I loved, of the life I had always known, flashed through me. Then, the meadow, the lights, the alien sky, beckoned just as strongly, promising discovery beyond imagination. A decision crystallized in my mind. I did not leap blindly into the unknown, nor did I retreat fully. I placed my palm against the shimmering window, letting the energy flow into me without losing myself entirely. The shadow watched, silent but approving. The world beyond seemed to pause, as if acknowledging my choice. The lights swirled more gently now, harmonizing with the rhythm of my heartbeat. I felt a connection, not complete merging, not full separation, but a bridge between two realities. When I finally stepped back, the window shimmered and then settled. The meadow outside vanished, replaced by the familiar dim room. The shadow's eyes faded into a lingering glow, and the whispers receded into a soft hum. I stood there, breathless, forever changed. The house felt the same, yet it was subtly different, alive with a secret I could neither see nor explain fully. I knew the window remained, waiting for the moment I might return. And deep inside, I carried a memory of another world, strange, vast, and alive, like a heartbeat I could feel beneath my own. From that night onward, the house no longer felt empty. I moved through my life with a quiet awareness, knowing that somewhere, just beyond the glass, a world awaited, silent, patient, and infinite. And sometimes, when the moonlight struck the window just right, I thought I saw a flicker of red eyes, watching me, waiting. I smiled faintly, feeling neither fear nor regret. Some doors, I realized, do not need to be opened fully to change everything. And some worlds, once glimpsed, never truly leave us. I turned away from the window and walked into the darkness of my home. But the memory of that other world lingered, gentle, terrifying, and beautiful. It was a secret bridge between reality and imagination, waiting quietly for the next time curiosity would awaken.